Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to have you guys here. This is going to be such an amazing event and really, really timely and so important. My name is Anthony Volin. I am your Greater Los Angeles Association of Realtors president-elect, and I'm the owner of the Collective Realty, as well as the local Los Angeles chapter president for the Real Estate Alliance. And just so happy to have you guys here. I've been in the business for about 20 years, and I've seen a lot of changes really happen throughout our industry. And now is one of those times that I've been gaining concern. The main reason why I ran for president for our association is because I see really, at this point that the value that a realtor has, that the community sees in us as realtors, has been diminishing. This is a huge problem. If our value is seen as being diminished, what does that mean for us as agents? What does that mean for our business, for our families, for our industry as a whole? It means a lot of things, right? The commissions will be reduced. There'll be different types of programs that come to replace us. I do not want us as realtors to be replaced. We must stay at the center of attention, at the center of every transaction moving forward, because we are so needed and we bring so much value. I know we do, and I know we can. The problem is the public is seeing less and less and less of that because of other business models, because of lots of different things that are going on in our industry. So I would love to hear from you if you'd like to type in the chat. Why is our value diminishing? Why do you think our value is diminishing right now? And what happens if our value diminishes? So any ideas that you have, I would love to have you guys type those into the chat, and let's talk about that for a minute before we start, because this is what we're really going to be addressing today. So online discounted brokerages, okay. iBuyer programs, right? It's maybe simple or easy for someone to go to an iBuyer program rather than to a realtor. That diminishes our value. What else? More accessibility to sellers and buyers through social media and internet. Absolutely. No, I mean, this is something that's been going on, right? We used to be the value, our value used to be in finding people homes. Well, now that's not quite the case. Anybody can find a home on all different types of platforms. Zillow is a brokerage now. They could find every listing on Zillow. Our brokerage used to not syndicate listings to Zillow, so you would never find a collective listing on Zillow for the last 5 years. But now that it's a brokerage, all the listings are there. So, finding homes online is something that anyone can do. That is not our value anymore. Having off-market listings, a lot has changed with that as well, right? So some of the value that we had before is not there. We have coming soon listings, which we all should be using because those listings don't get syndicated, and it's a first look for us as realtors to use. So absolutely use coming soon listings. But why else is our value diminishing? Besides having having our buyers be able to research information online. They could find solds, not all solds. Zoe will talk to us about that. They could find solds online. They can find active listings, pending listings. But what are some other reasons? Let's see. Tech industry disruptions like taxes and retail public perception that online is better. Okay, Tim. Kenya says agents buying into pressure and reducing commissions. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our business is so competitive right now that commissions are being reduced. That's a big issue. It doesn't have to be the case. I'd say 90% of the listings I have are 6% commission, and it's not a problem. So it doesn't mean that it's everywhere and it's happening to everyone, but as a trend, it's happening more and more. And this is really what I want you to see today, is that though there are a lot of changes that are happening in our industry and a lot of pressure that's happening, some of us are going to survive, some of us are going to thrive, and you're going to see some amazing agents who've done that over the last several years, and especially even over this last year, from when we had our shutdown through now, the amazing successes that agents have had. And I've always learned that the most successful agents are the ones who shift first. So we're going to get a little bit of insight on what some of these agents are thinking about bringing value overall, what they've done because of COVID, just a lot of really awesome insight that I think is really going to be able to help us. So let's see, one more person wrote from Michael. Many agents are here for the short term, and whatever money they can get at that moment, they aren't in this for the long haul. This is the one that really bothers me, and it's so true, Michael. I feel like there's a reality TV show effect, right? Where a lot of agents are joining this industry for the wrong reasons, and they don't treat it as seriously as a business as we need to. This is a lot of people's biggest wealth building opportunity they will ever have is in owning real estate. And if we as realtors aren't providing value, and by receiving these huge commissions that we're receiving, proving that we have value to earn those commissions, we're going to go away. And wrong people entering in this business is something that's happening. It's too easy to get your license. Too many people are getting it for the wrong reasons, and we don't need that. And we need to be educating everyone on how to be bringing more value to our buyers and sellers to keep us alive in order to survive. You know, the quote that I had posted before this meeting started, it's really what this is all about. Unless we're able to prove that we're worth more than the commissions that we are receiving, our commissions will continue to dwindle and our industry will continue to fade away. I do not want that to happen. This industry has completely changed my life. When I started, I had nothing. When I talk about this, I get emotional, so I'm trying not to think about it too much. But I was so broke when I started, and I see other agents who are in the same position as me, who are trying to figure out their next meal, how to pay their rent, and so on. And this business has completely changed my life. It has given me an opportunity to create wealth, to create opportunities, to create joy, to help other people build wealth that I cannot find in any other industry. And if we all don't stick together to protect this industry, it will be gone, and we will lose that opportunity. And future people coming into this business will never have that shot. You're going to see realtors on this panel right now who are making more money than doctors in Los Angeles. I mean, just think about that. To have an opportunity as a realtor to help people in such a way and to also be rewarded in such a high way is so unique. We must all do better at keeping this industry alive and bringing extreme value to our clients, and not being lazy and not taking things for granted, because you will not survive. I promise you that. And the agents that we have on this panel today are going to prove to you how special they are, and how much their mindsets, everything is just so different than an average realtor, and why they're thriving. It's not just because of luck. It's not just because they're getting deals from their mom and dad. These people are working hard, and they're doing the right things to help make our industry move in the right direction. So feel free to use the chat and type in anything you want and communicate. I'm just thrilled to be here and really, really help all of you guys bring our business to the next level today. You know, one other thing too, besides bringing value to transactions, that is also our responsibility as realtors, is to help protect homeownership. Because if we don't have homeownership being protected, what are we working towards? What are we selling? How are we helping people build wealth? And our association and California Association and NAR does an amazing job with really helping to protect our industry, but it really takes all of us to be involved in that. You know, a couple quick things that you might want to check out is Legislative Day for California is April 27th. Sign up. It's online this year. You'll have the opportunity to sit in a Zoom room with your local legislators, and some of us will have the opportunity to speak on issues that are concerning us regarding our industry. Normally we go to Sacramento and we get to do it live with them in person, and it's an amazing experience. But this year it's online, April 27th, and it would be a great opportunity to go and do that and learn about how you can help protect homeownership. Also, our association, every year we pay our dues. Everyone's paid their dues by now, otherwise your MLS and everything will have been shut off. So, you know, dues are $5.99, but they always ask you to pay an additional $140, and that $140 goes to RPAC, and that is money that really helps CAR and our association make sure that we're able to promote homeownership, and we're able to talk to legislators, and we're able to advertise and send out mailers and do whatever we need to do to fight propositions and ballot measures that are anti-homeownership. And it's so important that we spend that extra $140. I spend way more, I donate way more than that $140 every year to make sure that happens. And as a minimum, you know, do what you can do. You can donate anytime during the year. You can call them and donate $20 today, $140, whatever it is, but it's absolutely worth it and important to do. So it's our responsibility to do that. We must do that to protect our industry. So again, welcome. I'm so happy to have everyone. We will be done by 12 o'clock. We have a full hour of awesome content for you. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while, and it's really the perfect time. We're going to start with a panel of industry leaders. Then we're going to move to some top agents, and then we're going to end with a brand new agent who's happens to be in my office, and he's a rising social media influencer, has 150,000 followers on TikTok. That's a real estate related TikTok, not just entertaining, fun gag TikTok. This is the real deal. And he's going to talk to us at the end about his strategy of gaining business from that. So, all right, I'm excited. Let's get to the first panel with Ms. Zoe and Marty and Natalie. All right, give me a second to spotlight them, and we're going to get started. Hello, Ms. Zoe, welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to see your faces. It's been a long time.
And Marshall, if you could help me get Marty in, that would be awesome. Hi, Natalie, welcome.
Hi.
Zoe, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. For those of you who don't know me, although I think most of you do, my name is Zoe Schulman, and I'm a vice president at WFG National Title. I have been in the title business for more than I'd like to say. It's over 30 years now. And I've been through ups and downs and changes and different markets. And what Anthony was saying before about learning how to shift and recreate yourself is truly what's important. And also to provide value. And that's my intention here, is to give you some information on value that you can provide to your clients so that you look like superstars. And that's my goal. That's, I don't sell the houses, but I can provide data and information that helps you sell the houses or lend on the houses. So I'm part of a team that helps build wealth. And that's what brings me a lot of joy and pleasure. And I have a lot of knowledge. I see someone just put in the chat, Rod, thank you. I'm a fountain of knowledge. I know quite a bit at this point, and some of it I've already forgotten.
Zoe has been in the business for quite a while. And, Zoe has moved from company to company like a lot of us have. And again, our clients, nobody cares what company you're at. They care about you and how they trust you, how they like you, how they respect you. Always remember that you are your main brand and you are so important. So Zoe.
True. That's really true. When I first started in this business in 1982, I worked for a very, very well-known title company. And I got an offer from a brand new title company that no one had ever heard of. And I met with a manager of Merrill Lynch for lunch. And she said, Zoe, people work with you, not your company. And I changed at that time to Fidelity National Title, which was brand new. No one had ever heard of it. And doubled my income the first year and then tripled it, and worked there for 25 years.
Your company's there to support you. You need to find a company that gives you everything you need, that is there when you need them, and that is going to help you grow. That's the most important thing. So
right now, WFG is absolutely providing that for me and for my clients. I think that we have a lot to offer. We have great service and great information. Anthony, I didn't know what you wanted me to say specifically about.
We'll get into a couple of questions. So Natalie and Marty, if you guys want to just quickly introduce yourself, and then we'll get to the questions.
Sure.
Go ahead, Natalie.
I'm Marty Carey, and I'm the president of Arcstone Financial. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad I'm here. Thank you, Anthony, for being such a great leader and such an advocate for the realtor community. I mean, I've been doing this for 28 years now, and I take what you guys do very seriously. And we talk about this in our office very often because, what we do as lenders are affecting, many things, offer, what we do is our job is to provide homeownership for people, obviously create opportunities for people to be able to buy homes. And, I feel like in the industry, there's a lot of roadblocks that lenders provide, such as the banks and whatnot. And, with us, with Natalie and I, we have very much of a make it or a can do kind of an attitude, and also find ways of making things work. So it's just an important philosophy to have as an individual, to be able to perform and also provide products that makes their homeownership, your client's homeownership reality, dream a reality. And also, like, my job, and also I'm sure every other loan officer's job, is to protect you guys as well. You guys are out there showing properties and putting so much time and energy into these clients. To us, I think what you guys do very seriously. So thank you again, Anthony, for really being such a great advocate for the community.
Thanks, Marty. And we have Natalie.
Hello, everybody. Good to see everyone's faces. Yes, this is such a great panel. Thanks for hosting this. I have been in the business slightly less than everybody, though it feels like a total lifetime. I've been in the business about 17 years, started at Countrywide. Miss Kenya and I know each other since back then. So good to see her face. Anyways, it's been an incredible journey. Real estate is truly, to use the word again, an incredible asset to everybody involved. What we can provide for our clients is something that nobody else can, which is, security for their life, honestly. So being a part of that every day is the reason I do it. It's, wonderful. And I know that that's how true prosperous realtors feel as well. I joined Movement about 6 years ago, and Movement is a mortgage bank company. And we literally have our mission statement to help realtors and their clients. Like, we are much more realtor based as a company. What is an asset that we can give our realtors? How can we help them through the process? How can we create real partnerships? That is what our mission is. So it's been an amazing time with them.
And my office has partnered with Movement Mortgage and Arcstone Financial really because of that. As realtors right now, like we said, we're not just home finders anymore. We don't just put our homes on the MLS and sell them. Well, in this market, we do, but you will not survive long-term if that's all you do. So you have to partner with amazing vendors, right? Vendors that can help you bring value to your clients. All three of these people that are here are great people who are able to do that. We have to go above and beyond. We have to understand what they do and be able to explain it to our clients in a way that we didn't have to before. A long time ago, almost 20 years ago, when I started in the business, I didn't know almost anything about financing. I just said, hey, you want to get a loan? Talk to the lender. They'll help you figure it out. It's not that easy anymore. We have to be seen as trusted wealth advisors. And you cannot be a wealth advisor unless you understand some basic products and basic options that are out there for you to use. So Marty and Natalie, in your opinion, just very, very briefly, name one or two products that you think we as realtors can put out to the public and educate the public on, inform them on what's available, because the public does not know what we know as realtors. We think they might, but they really don't. We've found that out through a lot of surveys we've done as an office. So maybe name one or two programs that you think we can do a better job as realtors as informing the public that are available. So go ahead, Natalie.
Yeah, I always feel like something that a lot of my agents don't know or understand is a renovation product. So whenever, we do renovation loans, which means that you find a property that isn't financeable, right? And that means that the property doesn't have utilities, or doesn't have a roof, or doesn't have a kitchen. It's a property that a lender is not going to finance on based on health and safety standards. That's what we lend on. knowing that the borrower is going to go in and they're not going to fall through the floor, or that there isn't like, some sort of electrical problem in the property. We have to make sure that's not going to happen, because then they're going to stop paying their mortgage, the house is going to foreclose, and then we have a problem. So on those kind of properties, I don't think that a lot of agents understand and really bring up the option of a renovation loan. It's such an incredible product. Yes, it takes longer with escrow, but on houses that you've seen on the market for 40 to 50 to 60 days, because nobody can finance them and investors just aren't bringing in the cash to do it, there is this incredible option of a renovation loan.
Yeah, and a lot of times we find properties that need work and our clients just don't have the cash to do it. They can afford a slightly bigger mortgage, but they don't have the cash to fix it up. They're already using all their cash for their down payment. They have nothing else. This is a great product.
Exactly.
And I think some realtors don't know about it. And if some realtors aren't clear on it, obviously the public isn't. So again, it's our job to inform the public what options are available for them so that they can make the best decision.
Exactly.
Marty, what's another product?
So we're in Los Angeles, real estate, obviously, and we big business in or industry in Los Angeles is going to be entertainment people, and we end up a lot of times where we end up saving a lot of deals through other alternative loan programs, and they're not highly understood and or publicized. So I really would think that we're doing a disservice if we're not getting this out to the public, because banks and various different institutions don't offer alternative loan income documentation loan programs, such as bank statements or profit and loss statement programs. These programs, there's private money out there right now that's looking for yield, that's looking for return. We've got the Fed at the very cheap, we're borrowing money at very cheap rates. So we're looking for return on this money. And private money is obviously coming in and coming up with programs. And that's what I used to do at Countrywide, actually. Also, when I was there, I think you mentioned you were at Countrywide as well. But I was on doing more like secondary, like capital markets type stuff. So, but we're developing programs basically. And I believe in these because they create home ownership. It's a reality as well. Oftentimes we get people coming in, they're saying, well, my bank told me that I can't qualify for a mortgage. And we go, all right, well, great, wonderful. Yes, your taxes don't afford you to qualify for a mortgage, but you're a writer, or you are a editor, or you are such, in a business type that you could write off everything off of your taxes and you make it look like you're not making any money. But let's analyze your bank statements. Let's analyze your profit and loss statement. Perhaps
there's different ways to be qualified, right? So it's not, you don't have to be just W-2, and we need to make sure we get that out to the public because sometimes they don't see that. A couple other programs, right? Does the public know about FHA loans and 3.5% down? When we do our surveys, no, they don't. Most people don't know that. That's something that we as realtors can do a much better job about putting it out there. Did you know you can buy an FHA? You can buy a duplex, triplex, or fourplex with an FHA loan for 3.5% down. If you didn't know that as a realtor, the public doesn't know that. We have to inform them. Our job to bring value, again, to help people build wealth is to inform them about these things. So the last question I'm going to ask you on the panel is if you can give us one tip. If you were to advise a realtor to post something on social media, we're always looking for content, and informing and educating our public is the best way to really gain trust. In your advice, what is something that you would recommend that realtors can post on social media? A quick tip. Go ahead, Zoe.
Okay. Well, I think the main one right now would be to inform them of the new proposition, where if you're 55 years old, you can sell your house and maintain your original property taxes. Well, a little bit different property taxes based on a new purchase, and that you can transfer that property tax base. I think that people definitely do not understand it. The only thing that I've heard even the Board of Realtors talking about was the inheritance issue that came up with that new proposition, where they were freaking out because it's changed that. But it really provides huge value for people who bought houses a long time ago, still have low property tax bases, are going to sell their house for $1 million, replace it with a new one for $1.5 million, and are terrified of a new tax base.
Yeah, so the quick tip is
Huge.
post that Prop 19 is now available, and you're able to transfer your property tax base if you're over 55 3 times. Okay, we got to keep moving. We're running out of time. Marty, a quick tip, just a sentence or two that we could
Well,
put.
now that Zoe stole mine, so I would say, making sure that you are keeping everybody up to date with lending parameters, because they keep on expanding. That's what I would do. So there's a lot of posts that we put out there that the guidelines are expanding, and removing the myth of what I talked about earlier about bank statement programs having higher interest rates. They're really very, very close to interest rates of the regular market interest rates.
Okay,
So
one tip, Marty, one sentence.
Oh, let's basically tell them that about the expanded loan programs, I would say.
So there's a lot more programs than you think, and it's not getting tighter right now. It's getting a little easier. Okay,
Yep.
Natalie, I'm sorry, I'm bullet point. Lenders are, we got to get it right to the point, honey. Yeah.
I would say at present, a great thing to be posting and letting your buyers know is, even though with a little bit of the raising rates, they are still extremely low. So you can get like, I've got little like things that you can post that are just like, what did rates look like in 17, 18, and 19? And what are they now? There was a blip in 2020 where they were in the twos, but even though we're still in the low threes, kind of high twos, low threes right now, how fortunate those rates are and what that means for your buyers.
Yeah. A couple other things, like as an office, I create social media posts for agents to use as content. And a few things that we've done recently, or in the past, is just remind people, if you're a vet, you can purchase a 0% down. Just pop it out there as a quick, thing. We do a great job posting beautiful houses, but we also need to educate them on building wealth in these opportunities. So did you know you can buy up to $2 million with 10% down? There's a lot of programs out there that you can do that. Something simple as that. Are there going to be massive foreclosures? Probably not. We just saw that forbearances have come down by 135,000 in the last month. Quick tips and sentences can go out there through our social media, need to go out there to educate the public. If you don't have those, ask your manager, talk to your office, talk to other agents. But we got to keep educating people on how to build wealth and make sure that they see value in us, not just posting pictures of beautiful houses. We are not home sellers and home finders anymore. We have to be above and beyond that. So Natalie, Marty, Zoe, thank you guys so much. We're going to get into our panel now. You guys are the best. All right.
Thank you so much.
Type your information in the chat, and some people had questions. Feel free to check that out. All right. Well, welcome, panelists. You guys are some of my favorite people in the business and have been extremely successful and are very different and diverse in the way you approach business and handle it. So why don't we start? We'll do Courtney, Will, Kenya, and then Stamy, because that's how your order is on my screen. Start by just saying, how long you've been in the business. If you want to say how many transactions or volume you've closed in the last year, that would be awesome. And then also, what percentage of your business is new business versus repeat or referral business? So go ahead, Ms. Courtney. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. My name is Courtney Polis. I'm the broker owner of Acme Real Estate. We have 42 agents. I have been in the business for 16 years. And I'd say about 80% of our business is referral based and the other 20% is new business. We have a particular lean in on some transforming areas. We get a lot of first-time home buyers who've never been in the industry before, but our retention rate with past clients is very, very high. And what was the other question?
Yeah, I think that's it, or volume. I mean,
we closed about 189 million last year.
Okay, amazing. Will.
Hi, everybody. I'm Will Tiao. I'm a broker associate with the Collective Realty, Anthony's brokerage in West Hollywood. I'm the director of the commercial real estate division there. I also have a property management company called Tiao Properties that I run with my wife and partner, Diana, who's also a salesperson with the Collective Realty. and we manage a few hundred units throughout Los Angeles. And we are also investors and developers ourselves as well. And so we basically have these 3 lines of business, and each one feeds into the other. So, you know, the majority of the financial comes from the brokerage side of the business, but we get a lot of our leads from our property management side. We're one of the highest rated property management companies on social media in Los Angeles, so we get a lot of leads from coming from there. And then we're also, as I mentioned, investors ourselves, and we're starting to get into the tenant in common conversion space. So a lot of folks are coming to us right now with apartment buildings that they are considering converting into condos. And
yeah, I think that whole arena of understanding tenancy in common and converting apartments to tenancy in common units is a huge opportunity for multifamily owners. A lot of money to be made. Plus, it's creating opportunities for home ownership. And typically, TICs are sold at a slightly lower price than regular units because you need 10% down. But it's a great opportunity, and I'm all about it as a company. And we'll talk about that another time, but yes, thank you, Will. And Miss Kenya.
Hey, hi everybody. I'm Kenya Reeves Costa. Anthony, hey girl, hey. Anthony, thank you so much for hosting this panel. And when I reposted, I said that I was so excited to be sitting on this panel with these powerhouses. Big fan of everybody here. I look up to all of you guys, and I want to be you when I grow up. Fun fact, I'm 42. So I've been in the business for, I'd say 14 years, full time. Without Anthony, I wouldn't be in this business because I walked into his office, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, stopped one of his meetings and told him I wanted to be a realtor a long time ago. I get most of my business through repeat and referral business. But because I have been forced to grow, and I'm growing a team right now, I've been really over the last like 4 years leaning a little harder into the online space, which has been working really well. Yelp is amazing for, you know, my partner agents and I. And, you know, I should know this, but I don't have my spreadsheet up. I don't know what my exact volume was last year, but we have closed 16 mil in the first quarter. I do know that. So yeah, so we, you know, I'm so stoked to be here.
Yeah, well, welcome. Thank you. Miss Damie.
Let me unmute this. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on this panel. I actually forgot about it, and I saw your email that said Shift to Survive, and I go, that's a great name for a panel with the market going on right now. So I have 4 kids.
How many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids.
Okay,
you're
excused.
That's my excuse. But I've been in the business almost 19 years. Solo agent. I used to have a partner. I've sold hundreds of units in lofts a while back, and then I had a rebirth, and I just do mostly single family residences. Most of my business comes from referrals or people I meet. And I did almost 20 million last year, which is, you know, a sliver of what you guys have done with your stuff. But I was really happy with it because 2019 almost killed me.
Yeah. So
that's great money.
Yeah, I think how many people had a better year in 2020 than 2019? Okay, that is pretty amazing. And 2020 was COVID year. We had a shutdown. There was nothing happening for a few months, and still people, I mean, to me, I think I work when I'm scared and I'm like, okay, what's going on? It makes me focus and reshift what I'm doing in order to make sure I can survive and have income coming in. So you do things differently. And I think that we all have done things in our business over this last year that really changed our mindset to say, what do we need to do to retune our business to be better, to make sure that we're able to continue going? And Stamy, I wanted to bring up with you, I know that, you know, we had to talk about this, but you hired a coach. And tell us about that coach and what that coach focused on and how that really helped you.
Sure. Sure. So I've always, real estate coaches, they've always been around. I've been to Brian Buffini seminar, Brian Tracy, but 2019, we had a new baby, so my girlfriend had it, but my mind was not in the right place, you know, and I've always been very success focused my whole life, but in 19, I kind of just fell off. I was a little lost to the point where I started hiking every day and listening to this podcast. So when I usually go into a dark hole, I usually just take in information from like Brian Tracy, and I just that's all I'll listen to. So I started listening to this podcast called Mindset by Design with this guy, Andy Murphy. And I'm very selective where I give my money. But at a certain point, I was like, you know what? I was here before in 2008 for a sliver, because I had sold a lot of units that closed in 2009. But in 2008, I started running out of money, and I just sat there like a deer in headlights. And this time I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that again. I'm a hard worker. I love to work. I'll do anything. I even drove Postmates for 2 months. I was like, you know what? I'm going to show the universe that I'll do anything. And I've been a full-time agent for 19 years. It wasn't like I did it part-time. So then I signed up for this coach. I didn't really have the money. It was like $5,000. And I had a deal going, and I had some potential deals coming up. But again, my mind was not in the right place. And after talking to him, you know, the third time, he's like, now you're ready. And now you're ready. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He goes, well, now you just shifted your mind from victim to like someone, you know, you're not a victim anymore. So, and I was like, oh my God. And I worked with him for about 10 sessions or 8 sessions, but I don't know what he did. He made me listen to all this stuff, but basically from listening to everything, like I literally do not allow my mind to go to a negative place. Like I just don't let it go there. I mean, it's a little annoying, you know, because I get depressed, obviously, but I still focus on the positive, and all the stuff I've been listening to over years is like, focus on what you want, what you don't want. So basically in 2019, I got everything I didn't want because it was my fear. And then I was like, oh, so what? Now I'm at 0, big deal, I'll start over again. And then 2020 with the shift really changed my whole business. And I do believe in that, even if it sounds like a little hokey. But
no, it's so true. I mean, I've been coaching agents since 2006, and what I've really found, you know, this year, and I want to hear from Kenya, Courtney, and Will too. Like, you all had better years in 2020 than 2019. 2020 was a crazy year going on, but you still did that. So in order to succeed and to grow, we're blocked by one of two things in this business. It's either our mindset, or we just don't know what to do. We have to shift and educate ourselves as far as what to do differently in our business, like the actual task. It's like, I'm ready to do it. I'll do anything. I just don't know what to do. Let me figure out what to do. And let me try all these different things and see what sticks and works. So it's one of the two things. It's either you're ready to just go forward and do it, or you have a mindset issue first that you need to fix, and then you need to do that. And it changes during different points of our career. You know, I run a book club here, and every book we read starts with mindset and then goes into application. And depending on where you're at in your business, it's going to be either one or the two that's more relevant to you. So Courtney, go ahead.
And also, you know, I lost sight of writing my goals down, of doing all the stuff that I did for so long that helped me, you know, stay on track. And it is like, you just got to write it down, because so your subconscious mind thinks of it when you're, you know, not doing your thing. And so then I've just been applying all these practices. But granted, you know, we're a lot like actors, like our deal closes and then we're like, shit, am I going to have another role, you know? But so I'm trying to stop that kind of thought, but it's hard because we're, you know, we live on the edge.
You're not alone. And Courtney, like for you, anything that shifted?
I have a few thoughts that are related to this. First of all, I am totally on board with the shutdown, and having this like moment where the world stopped really gave a lot of us an opportunity to figure out what the hell we're doing, and like, where have we been so busy we haven't had time to focus on the business of our business. And so what shifted there for us is that we had to go from in-person like training and how to pick up leads at open houses into how to really do effective online Zooms for listings and buy-side representation. And for me, it was like we had to really create a specific strategy of who our brand is. Again, it's like a rebirth. Every time there's a reset, we have to go, who are we? And what is it that distinguishes us from all the other agents that are trying to get your business on Instagram? I realized that we had to be able to, as a team, enunciate very clearly what our value is as realtors, what it is we sell, what our standard of representation is, and be willing to turn people down if they don't commit to us. We don't mess around. I've said this a million times, but it really hit home how valuable our time is, because now we have to do one-on-one showings. You know, we can't just rely on this volume of like buyers coming through. We have to be strategic with how we pick up our clients and what listings we want to take to make sure that our time is valued. And the more we valued ourselves, the more people were attracted to us. So that was one important distinction that I took away from last year. And I think it's a reason why we were succeeding. Definitely not making excuses for ourselves is another thing. It was like, get off your ass. If you're not doing something today to recreate your social media, take the moment, let's go. No excuses. This is the wrong firm if you want to sit back and let somebody else do it for you. So that was that was one of the things that we did, was just an assessment and a kind of re-strategizing of what it is we have to sell.
Absolutely. Will, anything for you that shifted and what you're doing to really survive and thrive?
I think I obviously, echo everything that Sammy and Courtney just said. I think for us, gosh, there were really two things. I think one, definitely focusing on the type of client that we wanted, rather than, I hate to say it, but time wasters, right? We really wanted to focus on the type of clients that, we either done business with before and really reached out again to our database, or focused on getting the types of clients that we really wanted, with the types of properties that we wanted. Also, for me, it was about building the right team. I brought on another agent onto our team. I believe he was on this call, Ken Dennis, who is just, I trust him with my life at this point. I feel like, he can really, I think it's so important, to have people around you, surrounding you, whether it's on, working with your own listings or marketing or whatever, like to build that kind of, so that you all have each other's back, because it is really hard, to do it all by yourself. And so, to me, that was a critical aspect of us, being much more successful last year.
Awesome. Miss Kenya.
Something that, and everybody here has amazing things to say. As far as mindset's concerned, that is probably, in my opinion, the most important thing. What I always say is, I have a baby and an autoimmune disease, ain't nothing gonna stop me, period. So I always find that knowing that if you're constantly moving forward, you're constantly working on yourself, you're constantly working to grow your business, what you're sowing today, you're gonna reap at another time. And I also agree with Courtney, the slowdown in a really weird way was good for me. And it's weird because it didn't even really feel to me like everything got completely shut down, because when you're a realtor, there are always things to do. Always, so I made it a point to call my entire sphere, and I checked in on everybody just to make sure that they were okay. And it was coming from here, because I knew that I was home. My kid was home. My husband was working from home. Everybody was in the house. I had a lot going on. And, just really having a moment, because you say you're going to call everybody, right? Every day. Oh, I'm supposed to call 10 people every day. You say that, but do you really? Because, your life is happening. But that gave me, I spent 3 weeks just calling everybody. I've sent everybody like a little brownie care package. And those things, those little things that we did meant a lot. And like Will, I also had some forced growth. I brought on another agent. My assistant actually left around that time. I hired a new assistant. I've now had to hire an assistant for that assistant, and I have a showing assistant. So thank you. So, but it's been a lot of forced growth, this market right now, because, you know, mama's got to take care of herself. I need a little time. And so growing my team has been, I'm learning some brilliant lessons in leadership, guys. So that's my next step, is to better myself as a leader and work on that aspect, because it kind of came out of nowhere and here I am.
Absolutely. Anyone who has a team, right? That's one skill that we all need to work on, is leadership skills. And that's going to help your business as well. So next question I want to talk about is, so you guys have all survived and done really well through the pandemic, and we're still, you know, in it, we're getting out of it. Things are going to be different moving forward. Our industry is changing also a lot. It's so competitive. There's more agents in the business than there's ever been. There's more companies. There's more options for buyers and sellers on who to choose, discounts and all kinds of things going on. You know, like we started this conversation, we have to bring value to our clients. You know, is there any tips or anything that you do or anything you want to say about how can we stay relevant moving forward in this industry? So Courtney.
I have a few things to say. One is that I'm very clear that my value is not in opening the door. The real value you're paying, like what you're getting when you work with me, is 15 years of experience negotiating contracts, making relationships with vendors. I think I could do a better job, but we could all do a better job of really clearly saying to our sphere of influence that there's more to the transaction than just the commission. Like, what you're really getting is a quality of service, and what you think you're saving, you might end up losing on that request for repairs negotiation. But also, I think we're in the moment right now where we need to hold our leadership accountable for the imbalanced policies that are out there and the way that it's leaning things. There's a lopsidedness and a kind of, I feel like a lot of our leadership is in a deer in the headlights. I'd like to see NAR do a public education campaign about agency, about what a buyer agent does, about fiduciary, like the choices that consumers have. So they know going in online, they're kind of seeing a billboard saying, hey, make sure you're really talking to the listing agent, or whatever, you know, something so that the buyers are a little more educated, since they're making these reach outs to discount brokerages and only web interface companies. They need to be educated on what they're missing by not having a real estate agent. I really want our leadership to be held accountable for that, in addition to the other sensitive subject, the vendor/broker thing that our industry has never seen before and doesn't know how to handle. Like, there is a conflict of interest, and I think our leadership is not doing a great job of handling it on the agent's behalf.
Absolutely. Again, Courtney, I can't agree with you more. That's why I'm putting myself in the local position of leadership with GLAR. We need to focus on the agents and proving to the community that we have value. But first, we need to make sure us as agents are actually giving it. And a lot of agents out there aren't. So it's kind of a two-step thing. And yeah, it's definitely something we're working on. I couldn't agree with you more. So Will, any ideas?
Well, I was just going to say, obviously for us, a huge piece of our growth has been on the education front. Some of you guys are aware we run a multifamily meetup group through the collective that we meet at least once a month. And during the pandemic, especially early on in the pandemic, we started doing these 2 or 3 times a month, because I mean, literally felt like daily the rules were changing, right? With regards to, you know, tenant landlord. And it was just like the city would have something, then the county, then the state, then the feds. And it was like, and they all weren't talking to each other, of course. So like they had totally different rules. And mom and pop landlords, which is all that we handle, we only handle mom and pop landlords. We're just completely confused, as were a ton of other folks. And so we spent just a ton of time educating ourselves to the changing landscape and to figure that out. And then then obviously try to transmit that. And I feel like that aspect of it, because, you know, at least in our field and in the multifamily space, it has just been a constantly changing thing since the beginning of this whole pandemic. And yet, you know, the number one question I get is, how's your collection rate? Like how many people are paying rent? Because, you know, with all these eviction moratoriums. And I've told people, even at the bottom of the pandemic, at like the worst, like right at the beginning, like we still had a 90% collection rate. We are now at a 98, 99% collection rate, which is like pre-pandemic numbers, you know? And I think at the end of the day, like, you know, like just knowing that and educating yourself, you know, like those things I think are really critical.
Yeah, absolutely. So bringing value by educating, I mean, that's what we're all about as a company, and Will has taken it to the next level with the multifamily investors meetup group we do. So that's one idea, guys, that you can do is start educating more. Kenya.
I like to tell stories online about closings. You know, a lot of people, you know, they're going through their Instagram and they'll just see a house. And it's really important to me that people that are seeing my Instagram sort of see that we run across the gambit, right? It might be a $300,000 condo. It might be a $3 million house, where I'm not all about, you know, making sure that everybody sees the shiniest and best things. But under every single one, I like to tell a story about the client and the process and how it happened and what we did and why it was awesome and why they won. And sometimes I tell ugly stories too, you know, because people need to understand that I think that our perception in general these days has gotten a little glossy, a little selling sunset, a little $1 million listing. And people don't understand that, you know, when you come this way, I am heart-centered. I'm about you. I'm about the transaction. I'm about you building wealth. I'm about people of color. I'm about women. I'm about all of that. And, you know, so I make it a point to tell those stories and show those other faces. And, you know, I just think I should be working on a bigger level, you know, as far as like making my voice heard. And I'm going to do more of that now with leadership. But I've always found that I tend to work from within. And so even if you call me and you don't plan on buying with me, I will still offer up advice. You know, I want to make sure that people know that I'm in it for the love of this career and my clients, you know, and to see other people win.
There's a great book that we read last year called Story Brand, and it really helps you create the most powerful story that you can to get your message across. And through social media and Facebook, that's our way to do that, you know? So that's such a great idea. Stamy, any ideas for you? How can we stay relevant? What value can we continue to bring?
Well, what I've been doing on social media is the story thing for me works also, is like, I'm so sick of agents being sold. I did it. I got 20 offers. I'm a hero. In a great market. No value. It just gets on my nerves. Like I have a problem with like any social people that post the same stuff. Like be creative, you know, like come from a creative background. And what I found has worked for me, and I don't know the reach it's had yet, but I definitely know people see it, is, you know, show them what it's like to go into a house that has a tenant, and then show what it's like after when you finally get them out because you couldn't sell it, and then you had to repaint it. So again, I totally agree on the story thing, because people get to know you and what you're willing to do. And then like, just like us, we have people we love on social media we don't know, you know, and people get attached. We all get attached to people. Like they have qualities we like, or they're doing something we wish we could do, or live in a city that we want to live in. And what I feel that I need to work on is the information aspect, because when I look at my Instagram as like you know, when I look at all my posts, I think what's missing now for a lot of agents also is more video. So I do want to plug in like an info video, like, you know, I also want to plug in like, yeah, 3.5 is great for your FHA loan, but don't expect to get a house with that. You know, like, you know, everyone's posting you can get a house with that, but in this market, like when there's a house that has 25 offers, like it's really hard for you to win with that. And I don't think people know that. So I do agree they don't know a lot of things. And another thing is I've had 2 people call me about my listings. One goes, I couldn't find your number. I was on Redfin, but they won't show it to me because, I have an agent. And then I'm like, what do you mean you couldn't find my number? Like, because they're all shady mofos trying to direct everyone to Zillow Flex or to their own agents. And, I think that's BS. And not to mention the MLS is so like archaic that you can't be like, go to the MLS guest, and
Yeah, no way. Has anyone ever said search the MLS guest site? I don't think so.
So I was trying to think, where can a buyer go to find the listing person's info, like without having to scroll?
I recommend
Where?
HomeSnap. And if
I'm
you
on HomeSnap. Okay.
you can get your own app through HomeSnap, where when you send out the link for them to download it, they will only see your info. They won't see contact info for the listing agent. So it's like your website. So it's an option.
But how does someone go online and get HomeSnap at they're going to Zillow, Redfin, and
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as I meet people, I'd say, hey, download this right now. I'm going to help you log in and use HomeSnap. Let's chat through that. Okay, so we're getting to 12 o'clock, but I have a couple things left I want to do. So if you guys don't mind hanging out a few more minutes, I want to ask, each panelist for their final thoughts to wrap up anything you want to say, feel free. And then we're going to have our social media influencer. I just have 2 questions for him, and then we'll be done. So let's start with Courtney. Any final thoughts, anything else you want to cover or put out there for us?
Sure. I think it's really important for all of us if we want to shift. I think the one thing that's not going to leave us even after the COVID thing happens is new tech and more online capture is required. We need to get ourselves in front or in between the consumer and the search. So I would be on the lookout for CoStar's new effort that will have the agent's contact information only, the listing agent. And if they have the power and the money to actually be a big search engine. I also think we need to start taking advantage of things like the PLS, where you can post on Friday and have your coming soon listing be there for 3 days before it goes active, and then you're not in violation of CCP. We need to be aware of what new tech alternatives there are to the ones that are already out there. And yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Awesome. Wonderful. Will.
Well, I'm just gonna keep harping on this education stuff. So we have our next multifamily meetup this afternoon at 4:30. We have a bankruptcy attorney coming to talk about bankruptcy sales. So if any of you have any interest, we get a lot of agents on these calls, on these webinars, and we'd love to see more agents, on there, because we think it's better for everybody. We've done a lot of TIC education. Like I want more agents involved in this because it would help all of our businesses. So I would suggest, if you can, join us. And we're doing a lot of like lunch and learns on Instagram and just stuff like that. That's been very, very helpful for us. So I would just say education.
Cool. Well, if you want to type in the chat the way to join the meetup group, that would be great.
Yeah.
And Kenya, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm bouncing off of Will. Also, don't forget to continually educate yourself. Podcast a day, 2 books a month. Go to Will's seminar. I've watched some of Courtney's panels. Go to panels. Talk to Zoe about Prop 19. Get the information. If you don't educate yourself, how can you take care of others? So it should be an everyday practice to be better, be smarter, work harder, and get.
Awesome. And Miss Staney.
Gosh, I don't even know now. I would just say keep working on your mindset, because if you're not in the right place, you're not going to even be able to take in any information you're listening to. I sometimes I just keep scrolling, and I could be looking at the same stuff for a month, but it's interesting because after a month, I start doing what I just learned over that month on my social media, and I go, oh, so I'm not just wasting time. I only follow accounts that I want to that make me better, but I take in the information. I don't really do anything, and then in a month, I start doing what I just learned. Because it's because it depends on what type of person you are and how your brain processes things. But I definitely agree with like, just keep putting positive stuff in your brain because you can't make it in this job if you're not in a good space.
So important. You guys, thank you so much for being part of this
That was
panel.
a lot of fun.
You guys are amazing. I love you so much. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. You work so hard in this industry, and I just want to let you know that I've recognized it. I see it. So proud of all of you guys. So keep it up. You're making our industry a better place to be and helping us stay relevant for a much longer time. So thank you guys so much. Love you, love you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right, and now
Bye-bye.
we're going to wrap up with brand new agent to the business. He is a rising social media influencer. He has over 150,000 followers on TikTok. And it's a real estate related TikTok. Like I said, it's not just, you know, one of those gag TikToks. This is Austin Grant. He is a part of the collective, and he's gaining right now about 5,000 new followers every week. So Austin, welcome, welcome. How are you gaining so many eyes and so many fans in such a quick time? What are you doing?
Thanks, boss man. I'm doing a lot. I'm putting in the work. I started this business 3 months ago at a big firm in LA, and we were at a meeting and we were like, hey, how can we market ourselves? And I said, oh, TikTok, that'd be awesome. And everyone said, oh no, that's stupid. That'll never work. Only kids go on that app. And I had to beg someone to make a video with me after everyone said no. Eventually she said yes. And we're making a video. It took about like 45 minutes. Everyone was laughing at us. And I was like, don't worry, we'll wake up tomorrow with like 100,000 views as a joke. But the next day we woke up with like 400,000 views. And on a dime, everyone's mindset changed in the office. People were calling my family. They were being very inappropriate aggressively towards me. And I knew I had to leave. I had to go to a firm that was small. And I called Anthony because it was the closest firm to my house. He let me in the next day. And we just started. But what I do with my videos is that I create scenes. I'm very charismatic. I'm very character driven. I'm not afraid to be goofy. I'm not afraid to make a fool of myself. I don't focus on the real estate aspect. I focus on the entertaining aspect. I focus more on what's going to catch people's attention, because the information that I could tell them in a video, they could find for free online. I have to give them the reason. I have to give them a reason to watch mine specifically. And the reason that it's grown so fast is because they're interactive. I script out my videos. I take a lot of time doing it, and I just have fun. I think it's great. I'm actually an actor myself. So TikTok was perfect.
So as a new agent, as for me, not even a new agent, for a lot of us, the hardest thing is to figure out how to get leads, how to keep our business growing. And, you know, you have a lot of eyes, you're watching, you're getting a lot of content, but what's your strategy? How are you getting business on it? Like, what's your next step? You're posting it, you're getting views, then what?
Yeah, well, that first video we posted, it was just about how to buy a house in California, and we talked about an FHA loan. And I think right now it's at 1.8 million views, and we have about 5,000 comments. And I still get DMs from that video, and I comment on I reply to everyone's comments. I answer every DM. I go live all the time, and I talk to people. I get them to the home buyer seminar. I put the home buyer seminar link in my bio. And then when I go live, we have about 5,000 people. When we go live for like an hour, we'll have like a round of 5,000 people. Some will stay, some will leave. And we tell them to come to the home buyer seminar. And the people who are actively trying to buy and actively show interest, I give them the link, they sign up, and they sign up through an Eventbrite link. It goes right to Anthony's Zoom, and he gets the notification. And those are my leads. And then I give them to Marty, Natalie, they're there. I just give them the platform to talk to the people they need to talk to. Very quick, very easy. And it's all from the same thing that they found me on, which was this. And what you guys need to understand is that the way people perceive information on social media is very different. If you go too fast, too long, you talk too slow, they're not going to listen to you. If you're not constantly switching it up and dialing into their attention span, they're going to swipe up and forget about it. So you have to find a way to be gaudy. You have to find a way to catch attention, because I don't see an ugly face on this panel. I don't see why any of you guys aren't making videos. You guys are all beautiful. You smile great. Your voices sound wonderful. With a little bit of creativity and a little bit of love and compassion, and forget about the money, forget about the leads, forget about all that bullshit. You know, you have to just focus on the content, and you have to love it. If you love it and you're proud of it and you're like, wow, that was a fun time, and you post it, it's going to get a lot more attention, because people can smell desperation through their phones, and they can smell anyone who's just hungry for money. That's why I don't monetize. I don't have anything on my account besides like the free seminar, because I don't want to put people in a predatory place. I just want to genuinely give them the information, and yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, so did I remove my spotlight? Marshall, can you get everybody so we can see everybody? So basically, you know, Austin's strategy is he has the views, right? But then where are they going to next? He's building trust with them through the live talks and talking to them through DMs, but he's also giving them somewhere to go next, right? So if you have a big social media following, just posting stuff isn't enough. You have to take them to that next step. The next step for Austin is to a seminar. He's done how to improve your credit seminars, home buyer seminars, home seller seminars. All of that kind of stuff is extremely important. And that's really what is helping him grow that business and take it to the next level. So it's not just about getting views and posting things, but it's about building relationships. So what can you do in your social media to take them to that next step, to build a little bit more trust, to get them to like you a little bit more? What can you do next? You guys, we had amazing panels. To all the panelists, again, I thank you so much. You guys have been amazing. We have a lot of people on here from the Real Estate Alliance. You know, promoting home ownership is important. A lot of the multicultural groups, you know, Black home ownership, Hispanic home ownership, LGBT home ownership is way below the national average, and that is not okay. I happen to be part of the LGBT community, and I'm the president of the LA LGBT Real Estate Alliance. I posted the link there if you want to get involved in that and help us increase awareness and help LGBT homeownership, do it, or join another multicultural group. But these are some things that we have to take responsibility for as being realtors. So join another group and help increase the awareness of homeownership, help make those dreams possible. It's the #1 way to build wealth in this country, and everyone deserves that opportunity. And if you're not fighting for that, you're not holding up your responsibility as being a true realtor. So check some of those groups out. Again, Natalie, Marty, Zoe, amazing. If you want more education, please check out our YouTube page at The Collective. We have other education events for realtors. We have other stuff for homeowners, home sellers. All of the multifamily education that we've ever done is also posted on our YouTube page. You can just search The Collective Realty and feel free to check any of that out. This video will be posted there as well. If you have other ideas for education that you want us to put on, I'm happy to do it. Let me know. And again, a special thank you to Courtney, Stamy, Kenya, and Will. You guys are inspirations. So proud of you. Thank you for making our industry a much better place. And now it's up to all of the rest of us to be inspired and to continue that trend. So have a great week, everybody. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Anthony. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks,
You guys are
Anthony.
awesome.
Awesome.